All right, folks, lay off the HGH. Unless you're watching HMW Sports Talk Live, it is actually cool to do steroids. No problem at all. You may need them to keep up with what we do. Just make sure you're very, very careful when you're using that human growth hormone stuff, all right, while watching this show. We don't need your head popping off your shoulders. Hello, I'm Craig Shelton. This is HMW Sports Talk Live. We are 30 minutes into the books on this show, but you still have a half an hour to share in the sports talk with us. Angelo Lawford from HoustonMediaWatch.com also joins me on here on the set. We are the HMW Creeps. We talk sports like no one else in this town. Go check out the website, HoustonMediaWatch.com. We got it all for you there. We keep an eye on what's going on with the teams, and we also keep an eye on what's going on with the way that the media covers the teams. That's what sets us apart. We don't just talk football, basketball, and baseball and soccer. We also talk about the guys that cover them. And when I tell you they love us for that, not really. All right, we were talking about DeSean Jackson being cut by Philadelphia. One of our members, Lamont Mann, is not so happy about the fact that LAPD came out and refuted stories about reports that DeSean Jackson was being investigated by them, along with some associates in regard to a murder investigation. They're saying that it's not happening. Angelo understands that take. My take on it is LAPD, we can trust those guys. I just think you have to keep culpability on the players. I think DeSean Jackson, knowing that we know that he's a 6-year veteran, we know that he should know how to manage himself. We compared it to the Giant football management of how him and his LeBron James marketing team, how they are presenting Johnny Manziel and how he's buying into the program with Maverick. What's the guy, Maverick? Is Maverick Thomas, the guy with LeBron's organization that's handling Johnny Manziel's deal? But they're doing a great job, is the point I'm making. And Johnny's buying into it. And I'm saying DeSean Jackson needs to be a little bit smarter how he manages himself. You know, a lot of times with these athletes, particularly these African-American athletes, we African-American people, we are huge enablers. Right. We were a huge enabler for Vince Young because we loved him so much. We still love VY. We know we do. But he wasn't a very good quarterback. And a lot of y'all couldn't accept that. Matter of fact, I got a very sick, perverse pleasure out of watching y'all souls get crushed because I accepted a long time ago VY couldn't play quarterback. I felt like he should have been a Dallas Cowboy. He was so bad, Richard Walker. That was us, right? Richard Walker's a Cowboy fan. I'm sorry. He should have been a Laker point guard. Oh, that's right. Richard Walker cheers for the Lakers, which means he's probably a Yankee fan too. Richard Walker, band rider. Anyway, we enable our black athletes, our black entertainers. We don't like to see them chastised in the media. We get mad at anybody else black in the media who has the audacity to chastise. Many of us wanted to beat up my man from Fox News for Isaiah Carey for going to Arian Foster's house. I might have wanted to fight Isaiah Carey myself, I admit, but not because it was a black thing. I just don't think you got no business at the man's house. He didn't commit a crime. I won't go there. But as African-American folks, we don't like people chastising our people. And we just don't. Let's tell the truth. We don't like it.
I think that's part of the reason why it's kind of heartbreaking in a sense is that you don't, there's almost like this, oh no, not again, you know, when you do hear it.
Yeah.
And if you just want to be real about it, it is that, man. And you don't really like to see, and what you're talking about, you don't like to see people with that opportunity wasted, fail at it, especially for things that aren't pertaining to the talent.
Right. It's outside of the realm of what they do professionally.
And that's what makes it such a difficult pill to swallow for us on the outside looking in.
Brothers wasn't texting and calling each other, talking conspiracy theories about the police is trying to set up Aaron Hernandez. You know why? His last name is Hernandez. It's not Jackson.
Right.
If he had been Aaron Jackson, My boys would say, man, that boy ain't shot nobody. Y'all know he ain't shot. I'm finna call Ralph Cooper. I'm calling KCOA. Hey, Ralph. They trying to set old Aaron Jackson up. You heard about it, Ralph? Hey, Ralph, I remember back in 1930, Ralph, they tried to set up every black man down in Bay City, Texas. It was 800,000 black people in Bay City, Texas back then. Ralph is only 2 now. Where they at, Ralph? Where all the black folks at in Bay City, Texas? They got jobs and moved to Victoria, like all the black people down there. They got some money. They moved where the refineries were. No, okay. No, but hey, I'm as black as they get. I'm one of them old red or some call us high yellow black folks. Whatever you want to call it, don't matter. But I'm black as you. But I'm real about life. We get pissed off. And we listen, we love our black quarterbacks. We love our black preachers. If our black preacher tell us that the white man sitting in the pulpit with me today is a good guy, and we should all go to the polls and vote for this man. And after church, he got us some free fish and free chicken dinners back there in the kitchen with some cornbread. He got our votes because we love our preachers. And I know Pastor wrong. Pastor wasn't right. Pastor shouldn't have got that woman pregnant. That wasn't his wife. He's supposed to get his wife pregnant like he did the other 7 times. He didn't have to go get that other young 20-year-old woman pregnant. But guess what? He my pastor, and I love him. And I'm going to vote for that white man because pastor said vote for him. Texas ain't going to draft no black quarterback, man. That's why they ain't draft Vince Young, because he's black. The Texans have a black general manager, Rick Smith. The director of media relations was Tony Wiley when the team, from the inception of the team.
Right.
When Tony left and went to Washington to do the same thing up in Washington, Kevin Cooper took over for Tony Wiley. Kevin Cooper's black. So you're going to tell me that this billionaire who hired a black GM won't draft a black quarterback simply because he's black? But he gave a black man one of the highest ranking jobs in his franchise. Mm-hmm. He put a black man over hiring and finding and picking and choosing talent. The things that make black people, white people, Hispanic people, Asian people all show up, buy tickets, and spend money. He put a black man in charge of all of that. Folks, listen, do us a favor. Don't feel that you have to be a genius for us. Don't feel like you need to explain to us that racism exists. We know what racism exists. We know it. We know what it is when we feel it. But stop making race stuff out of stuff that ain't race. And start being real about your own people and your own problems. This not a life. This not a bad person for life situation. But if a young man plays for 6 seasons in the NFL, which means he's had 6 seasons of training camps, 6 seasons of regular season playoffs, whether he was in the playoffs or not, of experiencing it, being around veterans, he's had 6 years to learn how to be a man in a corporately driven professional atmosphere. Black, white, I don't give a damn what you are. When people start spending multiple $1 million on your ass, you can forget about the back in the day, the Lord. I'm calling the Lord. Y'all don't like black. Man, dude, you're getting paid millions of dollars. Manage your own self. And we need to be smarter about what makes us angry. You know, what we're willing to put our name out there on the line for and jump and fight a battle. When some idiot sports talk host goes out of the fray of sports talk and makes some asinine comment on President's Day that, you know, how do you celebrate a certain situation? You do it by raping a slave. That's the type of stuff you get mad about, and you find a reason to react and determine intellectually, you know, how do we want to react here? What should be the punishment? How do we go forward with this? But football players, basketball players, baseball players who don't come to work right. See, me and you got to go to work right.
Right.
We got to go to work right.
Right.
I'm at my job, I'm senior supervisor on this national account that we deal with. One thing I always tell my people when I train them, almost the last thing I tell them, and most of all, never do my job. Don't ever do my job. You know why? They're not gonna give you 1 extra cent to do my job.
Right.
See, on our jobs, we can't walk in and not show up for meetings, come late.
Right.
You know, we can't do those things. So we just need to be a little bit smart. I don't buy. I'm not gonna be an enabler for Deshaun Jackson, Vince Young. I wasn't an enabler for Michael Vick when he did his thing. You know, I think you do your time, you do the crime, you do your time. You deserve to make money and go on, and whatever you're talented enough to do it. You should get a chance, but don't be an enabler, people. Don't do it.
The thing we have to hope for Deshaun Jackson, because it's all speculative at this stage. Like we don't know his you know, his role in whatever is alleged with his gangster partners or whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, when these trials and tribulations come in athletes' life and in people's life, the ultimate objective, the hope, is that you hope that they just learn the lesson and can kind of morph into a better person.
What are these gangsters? You know what? We'll try to figure that out a little bit, because there's a cultural issue here,
right,
that people may not understand. And if you didn't grow up in the inner city and you're not African American or Hispanic, and you didn't grow up with gang culture being a part of your existence, and I'll tell you what I mean by that when we come back, you might not understand how these things can be perceived in the wrong manner. Y'all hanging there, we're gonna run to a break. This HMW Sports Talk Live.